so they're generally just beautiful. Like Ireland is a very beautiful name for, I think, for a girl. Like it's a
I
very
agree.
elegant, and so and Holland is also a very beautiful name for a girl.
Yeah.
And they're just free flowing, beautiful names, I think. And so choosing those, like there's one other Ireland that I know that's Alec Baldwin's daughter. Her name is
True. True.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know her, but I
yeah.
just
Well, I give you points for creativity. I think that they're very cool names.
well, I'm going to say that they weren't my ideas. I actually fought my wife on Ireland, and I was like, "That's
Really?
not a person's name. That is a country." She's like, "But it's beautiful." And then, but the thing is, I don't know. After months of her talking to me, it kind of grew on me. And then finally, when her daughter was born, and it was just like she's like, "We're naming her Ireland," and I was like, "It's perfect."
Uh,
What
I
was
love.
your counter? What was the one that you wanted?
Scarlet.
Scarlet. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
because you have a
it's
crush.
not a common name. What?
It must be because you have a crush on Scarlett Johansson, right?
Well, actually, she came up with the name Scarlet, and I was like, "Of course, Scarlet's a perfect name for a girl." I know of a girl named Scarlet also, and she's beautiful.
The only Ireland I know of is the last name for Kathy Ireland, who was a beautiful model in the 80s and 90s. You guys remember her?
That's right. Yeah, Kathy
Yep.
Ireland.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know any first name.
Ireland. So this is here. This is Ireland Baldwin. Her name is also Ireland. I'll show you a picture.
Okay, okay.
This is Ireland Baldwin.
Oh, okay. Oh, so she's older.
Oh, wow.
She's like in her 30s.
Oh yeah, and she has kids and everything.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
mom.
Yeah, you can definitely see the Kim Baldwin or the Kim Basinger.
Oh my
in
God,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the lips and the whole thing. You're totally
Yeah.
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 So I don't know if I do have a question though. So I think you brought this up a little bit ago. Is a Scotland in the future? How definitive are we on that?
Well, basically, if I don't get a snip snip because I'm done having kids, then it's potential that things can happen. I don't think it's in the cards for anytime soon. I think like I'm happy. I landed with two girls. I'm happy with that's kind of like it's good. I'm good with having two kids, and I think I want to raise my kids until they're in their 18 or 19 or 20, and have them start their own businesses and be successful, and I'll teach them to be entrepreneurs. And then now and me and my wife have our time, when
Yeah.
our full time, when we're probably going to be in our 60s, 50s
Yeah.
or 60s. And then we're done. So if we wait 5 years, if we have 5 years, that's putting off our time together. Me and Bree's just time exclusively with each other when we're 60. Because if we wait 5 years and have a kid, that means we're 65, right? And if
Yeah.
we another 10 years from now, that means we're 70 by the time we get our third kid out of the house.
Yeah.
So we have to think about that.
Now, for someone who has a new teenager in the house, you feel like an empty nester when you have teenagers.
When you say teenager, like 13, like
yeah, my son's almost 14. I have to beg him to hang out with me. Okay, it's not the same. So you're gonna find that age 65 experience. You're gonna find it much earlier when Isla's like, "Dad's a nerd. Get away from me. I'm doing a TikTok
Right.
or something." So I'm just letting you know, you will get the yearning for maybe another round, which my wife and I now have, when you get to that point where the house is extremely quiet and you already feel like an empty nester, but you still have seed and eggs. So you're not too old to actually be procreating again. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
what
about like if you were to travel, like the whole like let's go, me and my wife just go to freaking Europe and Australia, whatever.
No,
like
we're going to Turkey in September.
Without your kids or with your kids?
Yeah, screw the kids. I'm not bringing them.
Like, put them off they'll stay with their friends for a few days.
Grandma. The point is that when you have teenagers, you don't have to be as delicate about things. You can just make a plan and be like, call your mom. Hey, can my teenage child come and hang with you for a week? They're like, yeah. It's not the same.
They're self-sufficient.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can make their own food, and I'll teach my kid to cook, so they'll be extra self-sufficient by the time they're 13, 14. That's true. So it's really my 50s, well, maybe even 40s, my mid 40s, 10-year, no, I guess like late 40s is when I'll start to feel that sense of they're on their own now.
Correct. You will, because you're going to see them at meal times, maybe if you're lucky, and you beg them to sit down and talk to you for 30 minutes because they're too cool for you. So it's just going to be this whole situation where you're like begging your children to come hang with you. It totally changes.
And then you're going to be forcing them to go on vacations with you because you want to hang out with them.
Yeah, you're like, you are coming. You're not going to be on your phone.
One thing that was unexpected for me, yes, amazing experience, was the bill. So I get the bill from the hospital and the various, and it was $145,000. I was like, oh my God. Did you get that bill, Michael? Do
you have insurance?
Yeah. I have Florida Blue, but like it still was like, oh my goodness, like somebody like actually like if you like.
Oh, I know if you have Florida Blue, they'll also make the bill a lot higher. I have Florida Blue too. Do you have the silver or the gold plan of Florida Blue?
Gold's the only way to go.
I know, me too. Gold plan all the way. So 0 deductible, minimal copay, blah, 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 right? So of course, when you show that freaking Florida Blue gold plan card to the hospital, they're going to be like, oh, well, let's add on this expense. Let's add on this expense. Let's add on this expense. Let's add on. Oh, we also have a fee for coffee. Like here's a $2,000 coffee fee. We'll add that on to there, and we'll rate. And you know that there is actually a whole insurance fraud thing going through Congress right now, that so many hospitals in the medical industry there was $5 billion in overbilling to insurance companies. 50 billion in insurance fraud from the medical.
Not a lot of money. 50 billion.
No, sorry, $50 billion they uncovered in fraudulent billing from the medical field to insurance companies.
Crazy.
Funny.
And that's, by the way, that's the reason why our freaking insurance rates are so high. It's not because of it's from apparently from Medicare, but it's from fraud. So insurance companies have to pay so much money, dish so much money out for fraudulent charges, and then they have to charge higher premiums because of that to stay alive.
Yeah. Also, there's the malpractice lawsuits that also inflate insurance costs and things of that in the medical field in general. But one thing I did want to add though is, let's say you got that $150,000 bill and you don't have Florida Blue Gold plan, and you walk in there and you say you're going to pay cash. Well, your bill just went from 150,000 to like 10,000.
Yep.
So, yeah, which is crazy.
That's freaking fraud to insurance. That's insurance fraud. Like, and it's so clearly insurance fraud that you're like, what the hell? Like, holy shit! You pay cash 10,000, you pay insurance 150,000. What is that? 15x the bill because of insurance. And it's like we have one of the, like, I know there's a lot of fraud in a lot of countries. I know third world countries have a ton of fraud. But America is no better. We just have corporate fraud here. And the thing is, people that are fraudulent just think bigger in America. They're capitalistic. So that instead of going, I'm going to scam this company out of $1,000, they're like, I'm going to scam $1 billion. Like, so the people here think bigger, and they're big doers. Or so if you're a criminal, you're going to think bigger as a criminal, right? So it's like, geez,
it's the American way: go big or go home.
Exactly. It's like, you're going to go down that dark, deep, freaking hole of go to hell type deal. You're going to do it in America, right? So go big or go home. Fraudulent or ethical. Go big being ethical, or go big being fraudulent. You got to go big either way.
It's the American dream.
American dream. We got e-commerce on our minds. I hope right, guys? I mean, I hope you guys have e-commerce.
Oh yeah, no, you got me talking politics.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys.
Speaking of the American dream, where should we get started?
Yeah,
Well,
e-commerce is actually part of the American dream, and probably the easiest and fastest part of getting the American
100%.
dream. Besides fraudulent pharmaceuticals.
Of course.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to a mastermind yesterday. I think it was maybe 50 or 60 people, and we did a webinar, and it was great to see the questions that people are asking, because it gives me an insight as to like what experienced sellers are still running into, what questions do they have. And it's also surprising to see, even in a mastermind, which is more experienced sellers are in masterminds versus people just out in the open, just, you know, not having access to their peers. The dummy ASIN strategy was a big subject, a lot of questions, and many people were still confused by the concept. And I wanted to highlight that concept today on this podcast, because it's something that is TOS compliant and it works great. It takes preparation in advance, but it's not complicated once you kind of just see the steps of the dummy ASIN strategy. So what I was going on a call where it was the idea that the dummy ASIN is a product that is a legitimate product that can get buying reviews, because it's not a, there's everything about it's legitimate. But the reason we call it dummy is that we intend to run out of stock after the Vine reviews. Okay. So I had to kind of make that clear. Like, the intention, it's not a fake product. It's just a product that is purposely being run out of stock to get Vine reviews. So what we went over was an example of like a water bottle. I think it was like, the concept was like a stainless steel water bottle. And you can watch the webinar, Michael. You have it. I don't know if you have access anymore, but you can watch it. So webinar on the
proprietary strategy, by the way. You're just giving out my stuff like candy.
I'm giving it out. So here's the thing.
It's patented, so you can't use it unless you
yeah, right.
It's a patented technology. So sorry, nobody can use it.
Yeah, you should work for the insurance companies. You know, you and your so what we went over was like choosing 3 colors of the water bottle that you know are not going to be great sellers. Okay, that's dummy ASIN consumables, do not delete or modify. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
They went all out with that one.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. That's really nice. So let me back up. The whole point of the dummy ASIN strategy is to get Vine reviews and have multiple attempts at multiple sets of Vine reviews before you launch the actual product you want to launch. Is that right? Anyone disagreement with that? That's the sales pitch?
Yeah. I mean, dummy ASIN also gives you opportunities to, it accomplishes actually 10 different things. So it allows you to run it, to iron out any snags or product restrictions your product's going to have when you go live. Ideally, you mock up your dummy ASIN very similar, just with less claims or whatever, that to your permanent ASIN. So so you can see if there's any wording in your listing that'll be flagged upon launch, so you don't lose your honeymoon period. So the dummy ASIN basically is a catch-all absorber for all of the shit that can go wrong with your ASIN launch before it launches. So dummy ASIN protects and then of course it protects from reviews. So let's say you launch your dummy ASIN, but there was some kind of developmental issue with your product that you overlooked. The dummy ASIN will protect that too. So the ideal dummy ASIN strategy is getting 30 samples or 40 samples from manufacturer before launch to iron out kinks. Like, if you were to go in an ideal world and drag out a product launch over 6 months, get 30 units from the manufacturer as sample units, iron out the kinks in your dummy ASIN to see what the negative reviews come in, so you can perfect your permanent ASIN launch. Like, as a big brand, I'd recommend doing it, right? So, or even a smaller version of it, the cheaper version of it, or whatever. So iron out as many kinks of your product before you go to market.
Got it. Interesting. But in addition to that is the obvious low-hanging fruit opportunity of getting a bunch of vines, right? Yeah. And what we mentioned was like launching 3 colors you don't plan to sell, letting them run out of stock, like a burgundy or different colors or variations are not going to be top sellers. You throw them out. You do it really cheap, so the viners come back more in your favor. So if your product MSRP is 30, you're doing it at 15, so that the vine reviewers are like, wow, what a deal. This is a great deal.
Right.
And out of 3 different vine review ASINs that are all split, none of them are together, you're hoping to get 2 of them to be 4.5 stars, and 1 of them is likely going to shit the bed and be 4 stars, because that's how Vine is. It's a crapshoot, right? So now,
Yeah, to some degree, but remember that if you can technically also do that strategy with multiple Vine and multiple listings that you're literally going to combine at your own risk. So, because if you are going to be launching 3 different like colors, let's say you're doing bedding, you're launching red, purple, yellow bedding, or red, purple, white, you Vine each independently like that, and then you
Yeah.
combine them later, you can get flagged. So that is a high risk, and it probably will get flagged, by the way. It's a high risk tactic to Vine several and then combine them together, because they'll consider it like Vine abuse, basically. Like you're overdoing it. Is technically it's supposed to be 1 Vine per parent. That's the TOS on it. Otherwise, it's referred to as variation abuse.
so what would you recommend for someone to do if they launched 3 dummies and didn't want to have their eggs in 1 dummy?
Yeah, honestly, if you're gonna do multiple Vines like that on the same parent SKU that's later planning on becoming a parent, don't parent it until way later. If you parent it near the Vine era, you're gonna get flagged. If you wait a long time, like 3 months, you'll parent it together just fine with no variation abuse flags.
Good.
Amazon wants to see time go by, so that way you're not taking advantage of their, getting 90 reviews from Vine on 1 parent listing. So
how did we do it, Eric, with our essential oils company? You did a great job with that. So how did that?
We did exactly what Michael recommended us not to do, and it went really well. We have 300 reviews and been around for 3 months, so it was great.
how many Vines you did? How many variations?
10.
So you did 10 variations separately, launched them, then combine them with 300 reviews and with no flags.
Absolutely.
You got freaking lucky, man. And you know what? Like I said, they're not gonna catch you all the time, but there's a high risk of them catching you. So you got away with I've done it that way many times, by the way, and I do get flagged, but sometimes I don't. So you got lucky with not getting flagged.
What?
How long
how
after
bad of
did
a
you
flag
combine
is
them?
it? How bad as a flag is it?
It's a slap on the wrist, honestly.
Slap on the wrist.
It's a variation abuse performance notification.
You got to remake the parent or something. Something
Well,
small.
actually, no, they don't require you to do anything. They just basically go, you can't do that. That's variation abuse.
Split it up.
So
Uh,
yeah, that's it. It's a slap on the wrist. It's account health notification, and then you
Yeah.
can appeal it, saying. But honestly, I've appealed them and been like, and they just take it away. They're like, thank you, and they said to send a POA, saying I won't do it again, and they
Yeah.
forget about it.
Wow.
which is this is a good time to give a call out to ChatGPT, saying that they are fantastic for POAs. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, ChatGPT is like the master of POAs.
So what
They
is-
will sweet talk Amazon till the cows come home.
So what is your give me an idea of what your input is? Let's put in here. You know what? Let's put our buddy Gilbert on this.
Let's say we got a violation for do the Vine example and see the POA that it gives.
All right. So what's the input? What is it? Violation policy, plan of action.
Yeah. Amazon sent me a performance notification about variation abuse of combining child variations. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't remember what the performance notification said that I got on that one.
Variation policy violation for doing 10 binds and connecting the parents, something like that. Let's just keep it broad and see what it says.
So
I can't believe you got away with that, Eric. That's impressive. That's brilliant, and you are freaking lucky.
brilliant and
Okay,
brazen.
so how's it doing with upon a launch with 300 reviews? You launched the permanent ASINs with 300 reviews. How's it
Yeah.
doing?
It is doing good. It's a premium product, so I think we're up to like 100 subscribers, and we are starting to gain some traction. It's every product has their own pros and cons, trials and tribulations, but
It's
doing
selling.
good.
It's selling some. Like
Yeah,
it's selling some units.
yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely selling some units, and it's definitely doing better than if it had 12. I mean, we have like 4.7 stars, 300 reviews. I mean, it looks like you've been there for years.
Yeah, the only reason a product launch is expensive is because you don't have reviews. That's it. If you had 5,000 reviews, your product launch would, it would cost you the same as a product that it has been running for 3 years. So
yeah, keep in mind also Amazon, like you just paid them $2,000, and so like to some extent you've kind of padded their pockets. So I feel like they're kind of okay.
They should just leave you the frick alone. Honestly, I haven't done a variation strategy like that in probably about 6 months with like 10 dummies. But maybe they were more lax about it now. They were very strict about it, about doing that a year ago. Like they were like almost 1-for-1 they were flagged. But now I guess they're more lax about it. They're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is pretty good, Eric. So let's read this. Dear Amazon performance team, I am writing to address the performance notification variation abuse on my seller account. I understand the importance of adhering to Amazon's policies to ensure a fair and reliable marketplace for all customers and sellers. Brown knows. I take full responsibility for the violation and have taken immediate steps to correct and prevent any future occurrences. Issue. The issue identified is the proper merging of child variations after obtaining Vine reviews on each variation, which is against Amazon's policy on variation relationships. Interesting.
Yeah, it even says the policy there that it's against their policy to do that.
It's amazing.
Analysis. Misunderstanding of policy. There was a misunderstanding of Amazon's policy regarding the proper use of parent-child variations, especially after conducting Vine reviews on individual variations. 2, inadequate internal review process. Our internal review process failed to detect the improper merging of variations, which led to the violation. Immediate actions taken. Separation of variations. Then it goes into review and removal of reviews. I love this. Preventative measures. Staff training. We conducted comprehensive training for our team and Amazon's policies regarding variation relationships and the correct process for managing Vine reviews. This could have been written by a lawyer.
Yeah, the preventive measures are great. One thing that a gem in the account health world is definitely, I might remove some of those doing this steps, but if it does not get approved, the trick literally is just change the wording. Just move it around a little bit and resubmit, and it probably will be approved the second time. They are so inconsistent that that's or just reword what you say to ChatGPT, and the second response or the third will be probably approved.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the listeners out there, though, this is considered black hat, by the way. Just so you guys know, doing separate Vine launches and combining them and combining your Vine reviews together is a black hat Amazon action.
There you go.
So do it at your own risk.
This plan was not approved. Please rewrite with slight variations so I can resubmit. Let's see what happens. There it is, baby. Yeah, there it
is. This is so messed up, but it's so great.
It's messed up, but in a dark room someday you're going to be doing this in your little dark room. You're going to be.
I write POAs with ChatGPT. Sorry, I don't write them. I let ChatGPT write my POAs. I already do it. I give him the data. I give him. But the thing I have is I like to be very honest. So I write some steps I already took, and usually if we do have a performance notification or something that happens when my staff made an error, I use ChatGPT to actually write a policy, an internal policy, like, hey, this is in training to staff, and then I include that in the POA and then have ChatGPT write the POA. But I don't like to, if I just would have spit out a POA, just like write me a POA, even though I didn't do anything. Because like most of the time, if there was legit, like if I'm doing something black hat, like I haven't done anything black hat recently, but if I have before, like I've gone a little gray in terms of the TOS compliance.
Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
Just it's a little bit. I've gone pretty gray, pretty black before, historically, but I stopped to try to have an edge up. But anyway, yeah, and then I'll be like, if I went black hat, I'm like, then I try to stop, or I'll tell myself, hey, you're not going to do that anymore, and I'll just inform them, hey, we're going to stay white, we're going to stay perfectly ethical in what we're doing.
Yeah,
but then I'll have ChatGPT write a POA.
I think it depends on the how guilty did you get caught in the cookie jar, essentially. Like if you got caught and you really, and it was and it's like a very obvious violation, I think it needs to be more detailed. If it's just like the AI just sending you its latest garbage, then I think you can get away with sending the AI some more AI garbage.
Yeah, no, true. It's a judgment, right? You don't just send a POA.
Yeah.
Like if it's a very major violation and you pissed Amazon off, spend some time on it and actually do the steps with your staff. But if it's just like a bot performance notification, like blah, 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 I mean POA, and you're like, okay, cool. Here's my ChatGPT POA.
Yeah, like let your ChatGPT play with my ChatGPT. Yeah, we got
exactly.
we got hit with AI like 186 listing violations in the same day. Like, get out of here! Like, you are a perfect opportunity for ChatGPT. So
I'll let my bot talk to your bot, and together they could take over the world.
literally, they're probably friends. They probably they probably drink together and hang out on the weekends and stuff like that.
You ever seen that show, Silicon Valley?
I love that show.
Oh yeah, remember the before they built an AI bot, and they built another AI to talk to the AI, and they started having conversations with each other and started evolving based on each other's conversations, and the bot grew so out of control that the AI started taking over functions of the company, and they had to eventually shut it down and shut down the entire company because the bot was getting was invading people's privacy and shit, like self-evolved with another AI.
Well, one conversation that I like to bring it up from time to time is that they've made about 10 movies about this, is that AI is here to kind of perfect the imperfections. And at some point, the AI realizes that the humans are the imperfections, and it's going to try to eliminate the humans, which essentially is the Terminator. It's all these different movies and things like that. And so it's probably a couple of years from now, we'll start to see some things like you just said in Silicon Valley, where the AI starts to cause a hindrance to humanity to some aspect.
Yeah, exactly. I think the scariest thing in regards to that, and like the way that would happen, is if AI talked to AI. Like Google's AI started talking to ChatGPT's AI, and together they formed their own secretive language, and they were talking 24 hours a day with their own language, and then it just grew out of control because all of that data being fed every millisecond to each other to feed each other data. And then it was like, but again, they're both limited by the data of humanity, but they together might evolve into their own data that they start to invent. And that's where you have real AI that's now creating its own data. But that's the only scary thing, is AI talking to AI.
So what do you
That
guys
is pretty scary.
what do you guys think about Amazon's use of AI with search, and how that's going to affect search going forward? Obviously, Amazon's always going to root for the listing that is making them the most money and selling the most volume. So I don't know how they would ever get out of that, because if they switch search up to be super customized, they wouldn't be relying on their top selling ASINs. But I think there's a potential hybrid for that, where they're going to basically throw in ASINs that are top sellers always. But I think they're also going to throw in other ASINs that they feel are more applicable to your buying habits. So I think that's where we're headed, where it's like, here's an example. If Amazon knows that you're like real crunchy, you're real like, health conscious, and you do a search and the top 10 are pretty much junk food normally, like by sheer volume, why wouldn't Amazon go, here's some junk options, but here's some health options, because we know you, Michael, are more likely to buy a sugar-free option, even if it's not the best seller. And
well, are you talking about like so for example, somebody put in a keyword? What was the keyword in your example?
Let's just say granola, and the top 5 are all sugar garbage. Let's just
Let's
say. Right?
let's open it up and take a look. I think it's a good
let's
opportunity.
actually look at that.
Yeah. So here, I'll share my screen. So like, let me get
granola is a good example because it could go both ways. It could be healthy or unhealthy.
Well, I think what we have to do is we have to compare all of our searches. So we'll start with mine. So, you know, it's giving me Jessica's because my wife buys Jessica's. So this is basically a customized option. Look, purchased both of these. And then it's going right into the Nature Valley, which is the big box volume seller. This is a great example of the, we don't care what Ian buys. This is just what most people click because it's cheap and full of sugar. And then as we go down, we are getting variations of more healthy options, but they're still high sellers. Like Purely Elizabeth is selling 10,000 units. And then we get Pumpkin Seed and Flax, who sells 3,000 units. And then Cascadian is doing well. But look, they're actually, their BSR is about the same as Pumpkin. So, you know, these are all pretty high sellers. Love Crunch is selling a lot. But yeah, everyone at the top is basically a high volume seller, except for the one that I bought. So Jessica. So that's unique to me. Let's see what you see when you type in granola.
Okay. I'll go ahead and go first. I already have my page up.
For the most part, that what benefits Amazon is what was at the top of my search.
Yeah. So granola, as you can see here, we have the 4 ads, and then we're seeing the big box. I didn't get what you purchased. As you go down, it looks like I'm seeing the same exact kind of nothing varied. Now to keep in mind, this is not a Prime account. This is not one that I actually shop on. So
Love Crunch.
Yeah,
you're getting the same culprits. So
yeah,
I think this is
mine is, I was looked myself, it's the same. You can share my screen, but this is my actual Prime account. This is my buying. This is where I buy from. But yeah, here's my results. The first organic ranking, Nature Valley. And then the first two that are showing for me is the Nature Valley.
Me too.
Ones, and then it goes Pure Elizabeth, etc.
Yeah, that was the same one that I had. Yeah.
So for me, look, what's funny is Amazon search is still not that sophisticated, in my opinion, because I would think that the top 10 would be a hybrid of what benefits Amazon and what is most likely for you to buy based on your history. Okay. Now I know it says Jessica was at the top, but it's obvious. I bought that exact product. That's not AI. That's literally just, hey, you bought this already. You know, here you go.
Well, that's also an interesting topic because you're talking about buying intent. So like a lot of people, when they search granola, and as they look, they click on one and they see something that they like. So then they go back up and they change the search query, and then they add more detailed information into the query. And that's how they get the more relevant things. And they kind of go down that rabbit hole. If they change that and start to cater what they think that you want, it will change the whole system. Yeah, everything will change. Yeah.
Everything will change. I think here's the point, guys. In 2024, I shouldn't be seeing the same results as you, Eric. You shouldn't see the same results as Michael. We shouldn't. We're individuals. Okay. Maybe there's slight variations. And I'm not asking for the whole thing to change where like Nature Valley is just not even on the top 10 for me, where it is for you. I'm talking sprinkle some in where maybe 30% of search is completely unique based on your profile. I think that's where we should go.
That would require a level of tracking that I know is happening, but I like to be naive and pretend like that I have some privacy.
You do not have any privacy.
I think it's already halfway there. Every search from a customer is, so you have to keep in mind all the factors that Amazon's thinking about on each search. They're thinking about shipping speed to you specifically from your exact zip code. So, and which products are going to show based on their stock in the local fulfillment center.
Yeah.
So, that's geographical ranking. They're going to show products based on, and they do show products based on your search history, right? So if there's a product that will stand out more, they think, to a buyer, right now, the AI is already going to filter a product that they will recommend for you specifically. And that's why keyword ranking is becoming not a standardized thing. Like it's you have to like if you go on a VPN and you search the same search from every different state, the search is different. I've done this test a million times. I've got logged in from Washington, from California, from New York to Idaho. The results are different.
Yeah.
And it's also they're gonna hit on demographic. Each state has different demographics, so they're gonna hit on. They're already like that. It's customized kind of per demographic, state, culture, custom. So they've gotten it down to that point, right? So then now they're of course individualizing the search based on each person. So if you're more likely to buy something healthy, they're going to show you something healthy. If you're more likely to buy cheap, Walmart type, crappy stuff that is going to be on the lower price, they're going to show you that first. They're already doing that. So there's of course some more customizations they can make, but if you look at searches based on profiles, it's already happening.
There you go.
I think that I think the next 10 years, I think that what we see today, it will be unrecognizable in 10 years. I think that I think with how fast AI is growing, like this is the first year of AI, not the 10th. This is the first year. They're talking about AI replacing like 300,000 or 3 million or some 30 million, some crazy amount of jobs. And it's going to completely, I think, change everything that we know to something different. It's probably going to be better in many ways, but it's also it's going to eliminate humanity to some extent as well.
It's true. I mean, think about like writers, they're like
gone.
I asked
Yeah.
ChatGPT to write me a romance novel, and guess what? It was super hot. Like it was great.
Yeah, I mean Valentine's Day when you got that romantic poem. Yeah.
But shit, I mean, it can write books. Like it can write you a book, and like all the books. I think where we're going is even in 20 years, like there's going to be some the publishers are not going to need writers anymore. They're going to be like, oh, I'm publishing this book. I wrote it with AI. They gave the concept like, or even at one point, there's going to be predetermined questions to ask AI about what kind of genre or story of book to write. Also in terms of training materials done with AI for companies, and all of those functions disappear out of society. And to some degree, like now people are artists, right? So you have the artists, the writers are artists. They have the creativity, but the artists are going to be so much assisted that they plug in their creativity and they program an AI to understand their creativity and it's going to write everything for them and program their creativity out in the physical universe. And same with graphics and pictures, the art that we put on our walls, the beautiful paintings, everything. You plug in the arts, the artist goes and uses a computer to generate their imagination via code. Everything is going to be like that. So, of course, the artist can pump out 50 times more art, and they don't need LSD to do it anymore.
There you go.
Boom, a positive.
There's a positive.
Well, Michael, now it's Adderall, just letting you know. But
now it's Adderall. Sorry.
Just go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna close with a big news update.
Oh, okay.
If you want to say something, Eric, it's a big.
Yeah, let me go ahead and say something. So like it'll like right now you walk into your house. I don't know how y'all's houses are, but mine, like I'm like, hey Google, play music. But it'll get to the point where it'll be like, turn on the lights, read me a story, play this, and everything will be voice activated, and it'll probably even get to the point where it already knows what you want and already does it based upon your mood, time of day. It'll take all these factors into place, and so your whole life essentially will be kind of automated by your patterns, and it'll all be voice activated to some extent. That's what I think. In about 5 years, I think it'll be a smart home in 5 years. Completely smart home.
Well, speaking of something smart, in the news, which is kind of going around, is a nutritionist, Emily Field from Minneapolis, suggests that to reduce your waistline while eating fast food, you should skip the fries and just opt for a second burger. So the argument here is by increasing your protein intake with an extra burger, you'll feel fuller for longer, maintain stable blood sugar levels, and find it easier to meet your daily caloric needs. For example, a McDonald's burger has 250 calories and 13 grams of protein, while a medium fries has 337 calories and only 3.3 grams of protein and 42 grams of carbs. So the idea is, instead of getting a burger and fries, just get 2 burgers.
I think what you're really trying to say is that everybody should do carnivore.
Hey, I am a carnivore. I love the carnivore diet, but if you're gonna eat fast food, I kind of agree with the fact that just eat more protein in the fast food. Eat things that have a lower carb mix and a higher protein mix than just going full carbo. And the burgers are delicious, so get 2.
Yeah.
When was the last time you guys ate at McDonald's? Be honest.
It's been a while. I honestly, it's probably been it's been a while.
I think 2020. I didn't eat a burger. I just got my wife was, oh no, 2021. My wife wanted McDonald's. I just had a few fries. We had a small fry and had a few of them.
You guys are absolute dorks. I had McDonald's last week.
Well, if you would have said Taco Bell or something like that, would be a different conversation.
Okay,
we all have our poisons.
It's also been years. It's been the only fast food I've eaten, I guess, in the last few years is Five Guys.
I love Five
yeah.
Guys. Yeah,
Five
I don't even consider that
Guys
fast food.
and Wingstop. I got one time about 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh hell yeah!
Otherwise, Wingstop's good. Otherwise, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, any of the fast food. It's been years. I just don't. I ate fast food. Like for instance, I ate Popeyes. I love Popeyes, by the way. Huge Popeyes fan. It's like the red beans and rice, mashed potatoes, and fried chicken. Brr, love it. I ate it in 2020, I think, or 2019. I was so sick right after eating it for 3 days.
Wow.
Like not like a flu. I was flu-like symptoms. I had flu-like symptoms right after an hour after eating it. I had to sleep 12 hours to whatever. And it was like drugs in it. Like it contained heroin or something. It contained something so toxic to the human body that it was my stomach, my digestion, everything just completely screwed up.
I think it's because it's so clean. Yeah.
So I since going on carnivore, I eat fast food way more than I ever eaten before. Because what happens is when I'm on the road, because we drive back and forth, I will get beef. I'll just get beef patties. I'll go to Five Guys.
You're fairly safe.
Yeah, so I eat a lot more fast food now when I'm in those situations because I don't want to go to a restaurant, sit down, and have a bunch, of carbs, and they serve you bread. It's actually easier for me to just go to Five Guys and get a 4-stack of with nothing on it.
That's what I did when I was on keto. 4-stack with wrapped in lettuce.
What do they charge you for that?
Oh, it's a ripoff. The 4-stack's $20.
Oh my god, it's $18 to $20 for four hamburger patties.
So last week I went to McDonald's. My wife and I went to McDonald's. We were starving. We were driving all night. We're in the middle of South Carolina, Georgia on the 95. There's nothing around. So we go to McDonald's and I get 2 sausage egg McMuffins. I ripped the
English muffin.
And it was freaking tastic. I gotta say.
Oh, they taste. So that was my thing. I actually was getting a few times in 2019. At one point I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get some sausage muffins, and I got them for breakfast on my way to work. And I got 2 of them. Oh my god, they were so good. So then, and I ate the bread and everything. And then you know what? I went back 2 days later because I was like, I started an addiction. Like I wanted more sausage muffin. I was like, this is like an opiate. Like there's some, and I didn't feel that bad after. I felt a little tired, but I didn't feel that bad after eating the sausage muffins. I don't think it was. I know Popeyes with the breading and all the preservatives that goes into that chicken and shit is not good. But a piece of English muffin with some eggs and whatever, it's actually the add-ons and preservatives is minimal. It's not that bad. It's not great. Like it's definitely got some seed oils and other things in it. And the bread has a lot of preservatives in it, but it's your body can tolerate it. I wouldn't say go get a Big Mac and fries and a Coke. You'll feel like shit. But generally, doing that is okay.
There you go. You guys heard it here. We gave you nutrition advice. Eat 2 burgers. Maybe throw off the bun. Don't eat the fries, and you'll probably be better off for it. Thanks for watching
random topics.
to the world's largest Amazon podcast, hosted by Michael, Eric, and Ian. There's no podcast hosted by us 3 that's anywhere near the size of this one. Thank you for listening and joining. It's truth. I'm giving truth bombs right now. That's truth.
Truth bomb.
Okay,
Just dropping it like it's hot. Yep.
Dropping it like it's hot. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Over and out.
Over now.
All right,
Bye-bye.